Good afternoon, everybody. This is Mike Maggs with A&P Sports. Today is May 31st, 2013. Quite a day in sports yesterday. Frank, where would you like to get started?
Well, listen, I hate to say you were right, but you were right on the money with Miami against Indiana. I can't believe that.
Well, you know, I've won for about 200.
I mean, go ahead.
The game could have been a lot closer than that. I thought that in the first half, Indiana had a lot of in-the-paint points that they did not get. This game was it was 44-40 at halftime. This game here could have been a whole lot. It could have been a double-digit game, and that would have changed. My 10-point prediction would not have happened. After looking at the first half, but seeing what they let go, what they blew, by not getting the points they should have gotten, I knew that it was only a matter of time. And at halftime, what happened was they go into the locker room. Now, Juwan Howard, I don't remember Juwan Howard.
Yeah, I do.
He was with the Fab Five.
With Michigan.
Right, exactly. And he's a guy that now he's just, he basically wears a suit on the sideline. He's just an older guy.
Is he coaching or is he?
No, he's a member of the team. He's just not eligible. He's on injured reserve, whatever it is. And he made this big speech in the locker room.
Yeah,
and, we cannot go on our laurels that we're the most talented team, which we are. We got to play. You guys got to go. Now, he's not even playing in the game, but he gives this speech, which I believe if you saw, LeBron comes out right before halftime, and all you could see is the blurred thing over his mouth because every other word is an expletive. He said, we got to do this. He's pumped up. He's doing this. And LeBron he outscored the Indiana himself in the second. He scored 16 points in the third quarter. Indiana scored 13 as a team. He scored 16.
And for Indiana to win, they got to play perfect.
They got to play. They have to play. Well, they're going back to Indiana. They got a shot to do it, but Miami is the type of team. LeBron's playing without Wade basically, and without Bosh. They got Bosh not playing power forward. They're keeping him on the perimeter as a post-up shooter. And that's not Bosh's game, and he's not playing good.
Right.
And Dwayne Wade's not playing well. He's injured, though. He's top five player in the league when healthy, without a doubt. And he just is not doing it, and LeBron just leave it.
I mean, you said, I remember yesterday when we were talking about the game, this was very critical. This was the game. Whoever wins this game is going to win it all.
Right.
You were saying something like that.
It's an 80-something percent, 82% that winner of Game 5, when you have home court advantage, which Miami does, usually 82% of the time, they win the series.
Right.
So could Indiana win in Indy? They played a good game yesterday. They only lost by 11 points. The game wasn't as close as the final score indicated.
Right.
They were down by 14, 15.
They were missing a lot of shots.
Missing a lot of shots in the paint. They weren't, George Hill didn't play well. Hibbert, he played okay, but, LeBron was just too overwhelming. There was nothing they could do about him. They had no answer for him. And if Wade comes back just like, he's only going to get a day's rest, they're going to play tomorrow, and if he's needed, they do something, give him some treatment on it, that he could get himself back, this series will end tomorrow night.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. You think Miami is as good as they were last year with a healthy Wade? Wade's not playing well.
No, I don't think they are, but I don't think that there's anybody to give them the competition to prove that.
In the league.
Right.
In this division.
Right. Indiana's better than they were last year. Now, if you remember, last year Indiana had a 3-2 lead on these guys.
Right.
And Miami came back.
Right.
But I don't think that Indiana, although being better, I just think that being that LeBron got this, this championship ring, off his chest.
Off his chest.
He's playing ungodly.
Right. He's settling in.
He's doing Jordan-like stuff.
Right.
And he is an easy comparison to Jordan.
Right.
And only time will tell if he is, like we discussed yesterday.
Right. And I remember when I saw Jordan play, and Jordan was a very good, one of the best I've ever seen.
The best.
But after the championship, it seemed like he got even better.
Right.
Because now he's got the championship, and
he's got the chip.
Settled it right.
They call it the chip.
Right.
He's got it. It's not that pressure anymore. Like when he does have that, not so great of a game, it doesn't matter. I've won. I'm LeBron James. I'm the best. He is the best in the world.
How do you think the coaching's been in the game?
Oh, I don't think, other than that game, it was a game 2 that Coach Volcourt, what's his name? Volcourt. He
I
we need to put
can't
Hibbert in. Remember we discussed
Yeah.
that yesterday? He did not put Hibbert in, and LeBron had that easy drive to the hoop, you know.
Right.
And I just didn't think that was the right play. You got to put this guy as a tree trunk. You put
Right.
him in there.
Right.
That's going to stop even a guy of LeBron's size and speed. It's going to be something. Now, whether it be a foul, there was 2.2 seconds left. I thought that was a key mistake. So right now, coaching-wise, I think that Spoelstra's doing a better job than the Indiana coach is doing.
Yeah.
I believe that he is.
Spoelstra's got, to me, he's got all kind of pressure.
He
If
did.
they don't do good,
Right.
yeah, I know that he won a championship, but they
got
expect it every year.
Right. Well, when you assemble this team, and like we touched on
Right.
yesterday, they become like the evil empire.
Right.
They're like the Yankees. We're just going to buy the best and put it out on the court
Right.
here, and if they don't win, you're a joke. You're a
You're
laughing
gone.
stock.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're gone.
Right.
You're,
You're
especially the
packing
coach.
the bags, going
That's
home.
the first guy to go.
Right.
All right, so, well, the game, with this game
6 is coming up.
coming up, you think Miami's going to win it then?
I do. I think that...
Because you almost knocked the wind out of Indiana in this game.
Yeah, because, Indiana's going to play hard. This is going to be a lot closer game than this game was. They're going to make adjustments. They got to get better in the paint. They got, like I say, they got the tree trunks in there. They got the long-arm guys. I mean, these guys got 8-foot wingspans,
Right.
And Miami basically has a small lineup. Indiana, they're going to give them a game. I do believe that. I wouldn't be surprised if they win. It's going to be something like it's got to be low scoring because they have to beat them up defensively. It's going to be like an 82-78 game.
Right.
Like it was last night, 90-79.
Right.
It's got to be that game. That's Indiana's style.
But mentally, how did Indiana look to you? Did they look beaten or no?
I just think that they blew so many easy
Shots,
opportunities
right.
that it just sooner or later was going to catch up to them.
Right.
You're going to go through, every team gets a run. When you see a team down 12 points with 6 minutes left to go in the third quarter, don't worry, it's going to tighten up towards a 3-point game. And then it takes the stronger team with the better attitude, the will to win, time of urgency, all of that stuff. And they're going to have to, and Miami is that team. I don't think that Indiana is there
Make
yet.
a prediction. What do you think? Because I'll ride you all over the place.
Well, I had the winner yesterday.
You sure did. That's why I'm asking you now.
I say Miami.
What's your gut feeling?
My gut feeling is I think that Miami will close this out.
And
I don't think they want to make this a game
And
7.
how big? How do you think? Close game?
It'll be close. It'll be like a 6, 7, 8-point game. It's going to be a tight game. Yeah. Between, it's going to be, here, I'll say a 7-point
Readers
game.
will hold you to it.
Okay.
All right. Let's move on. We'll
Okay.
go to something else. The Hawks. We'll touch on the Blackhawks. They're the talk of Chicago.
Right.
Everybody's got their Hawk jersey on. Everybody's, besides their Cub White Sox stuff, but we'll get to that
Right.
later. But what do you think with this series? And we both claim we're not super experts with hockey. But what do you think?
What I think is
The Kings, LA Kings against the Hawks.
Kings are tough.
Yeah.
Tough team. Don't know a lot about them, but what I do know is that what the Hawks did to come back from a 3-1 deficit and come back and win this against the Detroit Red Wings, who was a formidable team.
Great coaching.
Great coach. I believe that.
Good goalies.
I believe that the Hawks will ride that as far as an inspiration that it's not going to matter if they go down 2 games to nothing.
Right.
Even though they got home court, you know what I mean? Or if
Meaning they can come back, right.
They can come back. They've done
Right.
it. Once you've done that, a team, you get that confidence.
Right.
That that, hey, listen, we've been here. We've
Right.
done that.
Right.
We're not afraid of this,
Right.
So I believe in the
LA has just as good, or maybe even a better goalie. This Quick. They
Right.
say he's one of the best in the league.
Yes.
He's the reason LA is where they're at. But you don't think the Hawks will be? They're not even worried.
I think I think this series will go. I think it'll go 6 games, but I give it to the Hawks.
No,
I give it to the Hawks.
The fans are like that.
Yeah, and I think that I don't see any different than that. I think the Hawks are just because of, like I say, the confidence that they have of what they overcame. I mean, the percentages of a 3-1 deficit to come back and do what they did is just astronomical.
Yeah.
I don't know the
Yeah,
exact.
you get a lot of momentum.
up, get a lot of momentum, and like you say, you don't get down in a game.
But this LA is no Detroit, they're a good,
They're a good team.
well, they're the former, they were the,
Last year's champions.
last year's
Yeah,
champs.
last year's Stanley Cup.
All right, the game is Monday, oh no. When is the game on?
Hawks is tomorrow night, Saturday night.
Saturday night.
Where's it,
It's Saturday, I think you're right.
Saturday night.
You're right. All right, well, then we'll move on. So, well, I'll ask you, what do you got, what do you think's going on? Or-
Well, nothing, I'm interested in the golf, obviously. I saw a little bit today, Tiger had an early tee time. I didn't catch the last part of it, but I think he shot 2 over today. He was -1 yesterday, puts him at +1. I don't know if it was, they showed +2. I don't know what hole he was on or if that was even completed. I was rushing out to do our spot here.
Right.
And I'm not sure where he's at, but that might be the cut where he does not make this cut here. This is a tournament that he's won 6 times.
Tiger Woods.
Yeah, this is Jack Nicklaus's, golf.
Is that what it's called, or?
It's a Jack Nicklaus Memorial, yeah.
Memorial.
It's a memorial tournament, yeah. And he's won this, and I believe that Woods, the whole field has to come down to where 2 over makes the cut, if
Right.
that's what it was. I mean, he might still be on the course as we speak right
Right.
now. I know he had an early tee time, but,
What do you think's going on with him?
well, I think he's definitely back.
Oh,
I think Tiger, I don't think that all the,
He's focused again.
Yeah, he's focused, and, he's gonna measure himself by majors. He could win 7 tournaments in a year, which is unbelievable.
Right.
I think the most ever was 8 by Johnny Miller.
Mhm.
Won 8 tournaments, and he won a major, a U.S. Open that year. I don't believe that Woods would be happy with 8. He'd rather win 1 major rather than have 8 regular tournaments.
Right.
And he's chasing Jack's record. Now, the one thing you gotta realize that a lot of people don't get this. Tiger Woods, he's probably gonna pass him. I believe that he will. He's got 4 more to go to tie him.
And he's young.
He's 30, I think he just turned 36,
Mhm.
You see him, he's built like a cornerback for a football
Right,
team. He's
right.
strong, he works out.
Right.
I don't believe that he won't pass Jack's record, but the one thing that he'll never do is Jack Nicklaus won 18 majors. He took 19 seconds in majors. Nobody ever brings that up. That's a putt from me to you that he lived out, that would have put him in a tie,
Right.
possibly give him the lead, possibly make somebody, 19 seconds. That means that if he just,
So you consider him the best golfer?
without a doubt.
How about Arnie Palmer?
I already found he set the bar.
Right.
He set the bar. He
But
was the most
Nicholson came in for
charismatic,
him.
he was the most charismatic golfer I ever
Right.
saw.
Brought a lot of fans to...
Brought a lot of fans to the table. He wasn't like Jack Nicklaus. Jack Nicklaus was known as Fat Jack.
Yeah,
He was
right.
a chubby guy out
Right.
there. But with the equipment these guys had, Jack Nicklaus was hitting tee shots almost as long as these guys are now with the technology that is 20 times better.
Right.
Yeah, metal clubs. The golf balls are different. It's
Right.
it's just the whole thing. But I do think Tiger will beat his record. I don't know if he's going to win a major this year.
Who do you think are the top 4 golfers? Is that hard to say? Or?
Well, Tiger, Rory McIlroy. I like that Keenan Bradley. I know he's not. I'm not going by the top 4 rank.
How about Mickelson?
Mickelson, I always think he's in there. He's in my
What's
top
his
4.
right? He's always hurt, right? Or
Well, he's been battling a bad back forever in his day. And Mickelson does not. He's the guy that's going to try to hit it over the Empire State Building to put it this far away from the cup rather than go around it and chip it up and make par.
So those are your top 4? Or?
Keenan Bradley, Tiger Woods, Rory, Mickelson, Keenan Bradley.
Yeah.
I think that he's...
And everybody else is in a pack.
There's so many golfers today. It's not like before you had like 10 guys. We had the Watsons, the Nicklauses, the Tom Weiskopf.
I remember Chuchu Garcia,
Chichi Rodriguez. You got all them guys.
Snead was all-time
Lee
golfer.
Trevino. You had all these guys that were fighting for it. Now, in the last 18 majors, there's been a different winner almost every major. There hasn't been a repeat.
And who's hot?
Right now,
Yeah.
Tiger Woods is without a doubt.
No kidding.
Without a doubt.
He looks,
And you know what?
he looks good.
If he's going to play in the U.S. Open is a tournament that is going to be, it's a mental tournament because you got to put the driver in the bag.
Right.
Now, he didn't hit that many drivers in the last tournament he played at the Players' Championship. He did not hit. He was just keeping it in the middle. And it's an ego thing. You want to blast that drive down there, that big, long 330-yard tee shot. You want to, hit that little half wedge up there on a 440-yard hole, which he could do.
Right.
but he's smart. One of the British Opens he won, I forget how many years ago it was, he hit one driver in 4 rounds.
Wow.
He hits that stator shot that stays about as high as the roof in this building here, and it goes like 290 yards, and the thing he can control all the time. If he just puts that in his mental thing that this is all I'm going to do, he's going to be very tough to beat
Yeah,
the
right.
U.S. Open.
Right. Why is the golf such a popular sport now? I mean, it's
Because of him.
yeah.
He made it popular.
Tiger,
you know.
right?
Well, and you know, the
I mean,
tour...
all these guys, all these, people and women, a ton of women love golf.
Right. Well, the people that follow golf today, Tiger Woods, first of all, made the purses. He made all of these guys. They love Tiger Woods, even the guys that are the naysayers.
Like, because the commercial,
Well,
I mean, the revenue.
He's the popularity of it.
Yeah.
And it's, they're watching it. You've got all these, advertisements make the purses bigger.
Right.
And they made the purses. The guy that would, take 5th place X amount of years ago, he didn't make,
Right.
$50,000. Now he's making
You're right.
$250,000. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's like $1.8 million for
I'm even talking about you, everybody I talk to, I mean, at the club, at the, even on Facebook, they all talk about golf, going golf, and they're,
Everybody,
retired
all
guys.
athletes do. What do? They argue with baseball players because when they go, like, for All-Star break, the guys that don't make the All-Star team,
They go
they go golfing, and they come back and their swing is all screwed up.
Jordan
Golf.
loves golf.
Hockey players are notoriously good golf. I played with Dale Talon.
No kidding.
Yeah, I played with Chelios. These guys were good players. Dale Talon was like a scratch handicap.
Yeah.
These guys all play golf. That's what they do in their downtime.
Isn't
He was an ex-Hawk.
he helped build that Stanley Cup team. Was it Dale Talon or?
He was an assistant coach. Yeah.
Or the assistant general manager, he might have been.
Was it that? Yeah, I don't
don't know.
recall. But yeah, he was a big guy with the Hawks and great hockey player, but a even better golfer.
Phenomenal golfer.
Yeah.
A lot of them play.
Yeah.
How about okay, so the Hawks game, they're going to do well. You're saying maybe it'll go 6, but we have 10. We'll talk about it
Right.
next week. Golf, you think Tiger's not going to make the cut, or he's in a bad situation
He was,
right now?
last I checked today, he was +2. Now, I don't know if that was his today's round or accumulative.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
He was
So we
1 under
look at,
yesterday.
next
He was 6 shots behind. What's his name? Charles Schwartzel was leading, and Scott Percy was -6. He was
I mean,
-7.
Charles Schwartzel, I mean, who is he?
He's a guy. He's a journeyman player. He's out there.
For guys that watch like you
Right.
know who he is.
I know
You've
who he
seen
is.
him.
I've seen him. It doesn't surprise me to see a guy like that win a major.
Right.
These guys pop up everywhere. And you know what? The European influx of players has really made golf a different game because there's so many good European players today, and they definitely love beating, Americans.
Americans, absolutely.
Last
Everybody
year, the
likes
Ryder
picking the
Cup,
Americans.
that was like the biggest kick in the
Why are the
butt.
Europeans? Where do you originate golf?
Scotland.
Scotland.
Yeah.
So it's Europe.
Yeah.
So
They played out there, and they play a different game out there. It's they call it a links course. It's not lush and plush like we have. You got
It's
that
all-
long tanglewood. It's windy. It's
Right.
always
Ground's not all smooth.
It's 58 degrees and misty outside, and you have to be a shot maker to play.
right.
And that's where they learn out. We play at country clubs.
It's
It's lush and
like-
plush, and it's
like a
beautiful.
rug.
Yeah.
You know,
It's like putting. Your greens are like the table here.
Right.
I mean, it's a different game.
Different game.
Yeah.
So right now, we just mentioned who, and you think Tiger's got some problems right now.
In this tournament.
In this tournament, I'm
This
not
doesn't
talking
mean anything.
overall.
He's won
but
4
this is-
tournaments already this year.
tournament.
I think, he has to play in this because he's won it 6 times, and that's
Right.
out of respect to the best player in the world, Jack Nicklaus.
Right.
He would never not show up to tune himself up for the U.S. Open,
Right.
to go sit and practice. You got to play competition, because no matter how intense you might get yourself practicing, it's not the same as playing.
Right.
In competition, I'm playing against the best.
Right. Go ahead, you had another point?
No, I was going to say it would be interesting to see if, with all the stuff going on with Sergio Garcia and Tiger Woods, the comment he made about...
What did he say? I didn't-
well, they asked him, because he hit a shot, and he said that Tiger Woods took his club out of the bag, and the crowd, because they saw him going for it on a par 5.
Right.
So when he pulled out his wood, this, metal wood,
Right.
they said, oh, he's going to go for it, because he had a difficult shot. He was in the woods, and they went, and it was right in the middle of Garcia's backswing.
So he thinks he was trying to throw him off?
Well, the crowd, and, golf is such a,
Mind game.
quiet, please,
Right.
the signs up,
Right.
and they thought that, and they've had a long-standing feud, and he thought, but he did ask the official, has he cleared yet? Has he hit?
Right.
And they're saying that the official did tell him, yes, he did.
Right.
That he did clear and say, so Woods really didn't do anything wrong. Well, after that, he said some things about him, Sergio did, saying that, you people know what you know about him, meaning the media, that, I know
How
different.
do you say it?
He says, you people know what you know about him, I happen to know the truth, and that's something he doesn't practice telling,
Wow.
is the truth. Now, you can take that for the scandal he had with the women,
Right.
or, how he is with his sponsors, or whatever the hell
Right.
he does.
He also was under the gun for a penalty shot, wasn't he? Or he had some critics.
Yeah, he had what happened was, he hit it was the 15th hole, it was either 15 or 30, it was a par 5, I think it was 15. And he hit his ball short and laid up on a par 5, which normally hits it 2, and there's water all in front. He hits his shot, he hits the pin with his shot, it ricochets off the pin, goes in the water. Here's a guy who hits a perfect shot, he's got to be unfortunate that it hits the pin.
Right.
And ricochets into the water. Now,
Why didn't somebody, they didn't know he was going to hit it.
He's back, 90 yards.
Right.
You're not sending your caddy up there to...
Yeah, right.
Now, you could elect to drop at the drop site, or you could play it from back where you were. Well, he dropped like 3 feet behind you could always play it from whatever spot you hit at any penalty.
Right.
But you have to be within a certain radius of that point. He went 3 yards back, and he hit the shot because he would have a little bit more room to get some spin on the ball, and he wound up putting it like this here. What happened
Well, how
was...
far?
he was 3 feet away.
Yeah.
Makes the putt for a bogey,
Right.
rather than make a big number.
They made a huge
So
deal.
when he gets done in golf, you sign your golf card. You keep my score, I keep your score. And when you get done, you sign the card, and I got you for 68.
Right.
And, you go through the whole thing.
Right.
And once you sign the card, if there's a mistake on there, you're DQ'd from the tournament.
Right.
Well, he signed the card, and he went in there, and when he was doing his post-game, post-play interview, he said, I dropped it back a little further, which means he didn't know the rule.
Right.
He should have known, but he didn't. I didn't know. I thought you could go as far back as you want. It's only penalizing you more.
Right.
And he dropped it, and he signed the card. Well, some official called in and said that he dropped it further from the drop site, and they gave him a 2-shot penalty.
Right.
And being that he signed an illegal card, he technically could have been DQ'd. But yeah, but he's the one that admitted it. He signed the card. The officials didn't say nothing while he was there, so that's what happened.
Right, and they made a big deal.
They made a big deal.
Probably more than it should have.
Right, and he said, I don't know who to call in, got nothing better to do than call in what guys are doing, and that's happened before.
Right.
Cost that Dustin Johnson a PGA championship 3 years.
All right, lastly, unless there's something else you want to discuss, we'll talk about the Cubs, Sox. What direction are they going to go in after this fantastic series that they just played?
Yeah.
A lot of Sox fans are crying about.
Yeah, well, the Sox, after what they did last year, they were in it till the very end. Getting rid of AJ was a big thing, I thought.
Yeah, I agree. But he was the guy that was a manager on the field.
Right, manager on the field.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see the Sox after All-Star break. They're going to get it together, and they're going to make a run at it. Nobody's really running away in that division.
No.
They got a shot. There's a lot of... Baseball's such a long season. I don't know if you remember years ago, Colorado won 21 out of 23 the last game to get into the,
And won it.
And won it. They almost won the World Series. Yeah.
Oh, they didn't win it then.
No, they didn't win it, but they got into the World Series.
Right.
I mean, those things could happen. And the Sox, Robert Ventura is a good coach, good manager.
You think he's good, huh?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
I like him as a ball player.
I always loved him as a ball player. I remember when he charged him out against Nolan Ryan, who was about 10 years older than Nolan Ryan.
He gave him credit.
He gave him a Floyd Mayweather up there, he did that to him, but...
You got to live with that forever.
They show that all the time.
Oh, thanks. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that I think the Sox will have more so than the Cubs. Cubs are, with Epstein in there as the GM, you just got to wait for the Cubs. They're building from the draft, and you got to give these younger players out of the draft. You got to give them time. This is going to be a 3-4 year process.
So do you think this is like a fluke, the 3 games against the Sox, or they were just...
You know, hey, baseball.
Pitching, they have some good pitching.
Right, anything happens in baseball,
Yeah.
you know, it's like it's like golf kind of, it's just the ball drops in a funny
And
way,
you're hitting
you get a
it.
picture, you know, that's just on that day, that happens. But it'll be interesting to see, I look forward to talking more about it.
Yeah, so you think, the Sox can get into the race?
I
They have the
do,
potential.
well, obviously, I don't think the Cubs will. I would like to see the Cubs just get themselves close to, you know, even if-
500?
Yeah, if they even get just a few games, if they get 10 games under that's a big win for them from where they were last year. Were they 60 and 102 last year,
Terrible.
something ridiculous.
Disgusting.
But-
They weren't doing well this year until the Sox there.
Right, well, that might be some jump start, some,
Yeah.
get some sort of
Yeah.
hope. But, what we'll do is,
Cubs got a long way to go.
they got a long way to go.
Yeah.
Sox are right there. I mean, we got a lot to talk about.
We'll talk about it. So we've touched on quite a few things this segment.
Okay.
Um,
I'd like to just say goodbye to everybody. We'll be back Monday, June 31st, or June 3rd, excuse me. My notes aren't that good, my handwriting's terrible. But we'll be back June 3rd, and we'll recap the weekend.
And
We'll
we'll
see
see
what
what-
goes on with
yeah,
the
over
golf.
the weekend.
We got to touch on the French Open. I'd like to, see what's going on
I
there.
forgot about that.
Yeah, we'll see. I
You
was-
was probably one of the 100 tennis fans that are.
Yeah, right. Nobody said, I like it, but, I don't really get into it till it's, Nadal and Federer.
Right.
Or the Djokovic,
Exactly.
then you get into it. But we'll be back June 3rd, and we'll pick up the conversation from there.
Well, we'll talk to you later then.
Okay, goodbye, everybody.
Okay.